Television executives from Nigeria are here in France to promote their industry. For more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Ijeoma Onah. She's the founder of the Nigerian International Film and TV Summit. Welcome to Paris Live.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's nice to be here.
Yeah. Now, you've just had a busy couple of days in Cannes in the south of France, a 2-day summit down there. What came out of that summit? What were the highlights for you?
Well, the highlight for me was the fact that a lot of producers for the first time came to MIP TV. And even though it appears to be quite overwhelming because of the size, but it was also quite engaging for them. And also the exposure is needed because we have been very, very much localized in most of our dealings. And so we are just trying to step out a bit out of our comfort zone because these are all executives and producers, TV channels who have been quite successful locally. And we're just trying to say there's a lot more opportunities out there. And that is the reason why, thank God for the partnership with Reed Medium, we're able to host a segment of the TV Summit at MIP TV. So it was quite engaging, and the response and the feedback has been really amazing.
And you also have an event here in Paris. Tell us a little bit about that, what you're hoping to achieve with that.
So what we tried to do in Cannes, in the south of France, was more international, open up ourselves to more international engagement, because you know that there are people from different parts of the world coming to Cannes for MIP. But in Paris, it was very, very targeted. It's very, very niche between Nigerian and French companies, having a roundtable session to see the kind of collaborations that can happen between the two countries, especially, you know, the visuals. So we're having sessions on distribution. As you know, Nigerian content has been distributed. Sometime 2 years ago, we had the release of 2 films here in cinemas in Paris. And then there are also big dubbing opportunities here in Paris with Paris-based dubbing studios, dubbing Nigerian TV series and Nollywood films into French. So it is a burgeoning industry. It is getting bigger and bigger because of the demand for Nigerian content in Francophone Africa. So that keeps opening up opportunities. And also in the area of technology, we also have French companies that are ready to profile solutions in terms of moving away from traditional TV. As you know, we're going digital very soon. So we're looking at other ways of monetizing content. And so those are the kind of discussions that we're going to be looking at between France and Nigeria. And we're hoping that we'll be able to forge very strong collaborations between the two countries in the area of television.
And what are the aspects, would you say, of Nigerian cinema and TV that can appeal to a broad audience? What are some of the characteristics, perhaps, of this industry?
So I think the major thing we have going for us in terms of our content is our stories, because we find out that everywhere across Africa and even the diaspora, they're able to connect with stories from Nigeria. And that is why it has been highly commercial, even though in terms of quality, we're also trying very hard to make sure that, which is one of the things we're also going to focus at this summit, how do we make international version? How do we make sure that our productions, whether TV or film, can have international acceptance? So one is the stories that has been able to resonate across Africa, whether Francophone or Anglophone. They're able to relate with our stories. And so that has contributed, that's the uniqueness that we have. And in addition to that, it's been highly commercial in terms of demands. A lot of content from Nigeria is sustaining channels in Francophone Africa and, you know, other French-speaking territories where you have African and diaspora. So that is like the appetite is enormous. The demand is huge. And that is why I believe to a large extent that the dubbing into French is a business that is going to boom. It's already booming, but I see a lot more opportunities for that. Yes.
Is Nollywood and the TV industry in Nigeria, is it a priority for the government at the moment? Are they supporting you?
Yes, very much. Recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria, I think it was last week, announced a single-digit financing for the entertainment industry, and of course, this also includes Nollywood, and television. To a large extent, there's more and more attention because you can see in recent times the cinema industry and the culture is getting more and more attention. Producers are releasing Nollywood. The gap between Nollywood and Hollywood is closing as far as theoretical release and box office is concerned. So there's more and more interest even from investors and of course from government. So government have seen that this industry, if it's given the right kind of support, is able to, the value chain is enormous. It can create jobs for people, and then of course the returns also, the returns on investments are also looking very good. So it's really something that, yes, the government is support. It's never enough. We hope that they'll be able to do more, but yes, the recent intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria, I think, is a very, very welcome development for the industry.
And just finally, what's next on your agenda after these busy summits here in France? What's on your agenda? So
we have another film summit that we are hosting with in Abidjan in May. And that is also trying to bring, Nigeria will be like the focus country. To want to understand some of the things that's happening. So we're organizing that in partnership with RTI, which is the Ivorian national broadcaster. And then after that, we have also in September the Film and TV Summit in Lagos, which is like the flagship event that brings everybody in the industry. So we're all business driven. We're not looking at the creative side, as it were. We're all looking at how do we make this a viable industry, let people understand what it takes to make money, what it takes to monetize their content, and also get returns on their investments. So that is September, by the grace of God. And then in November, we have our summit in Los Angeles, the Film Summit during the American film market. So that's what we have.
So a very busy time ahead.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you very much for being our guest here on Paris Live on Radio France International.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Ijeoma Onah, the founder of the Nigerian International Film and TV Summit.
Thank you.